Happy birthday, Jason! Yes, today is Jason Voorhees' birthday. According to his Wikipedia page, he was born on Friday, June 13th of 1946. That means he is turning 79 years old today, Friday, June 13th, 2025. How cool is that? So to celebrate Jason's birthday today, my gift to him is to bring his mother back to life. I came up with this idea while I was brainstorming something fun to do for this Friday the 13th, and I realized that I do not have an animatronic Jason, and I don't believe my dad does either. And then I realized that no one has an animatronic Pamela Voorhees because it doesn't exist. Nobody's ever made one. How crazy is that? Pamela Voorhees is the main antagonist in the first Friday the 13th movie. She is a big part of the story, a big part of the franchise, and she is the root of all of Jason's anger and his rampage. So today we are giving her the recognition that she deserves, and we are transforming Shirley Stab here into Pamela Voorhees. I've been working on this all week. I can't wait to see how it turns out. This is going to be super fun. But before we get into the transformation, I want to let you know to keep your eyes and ears on the video, because at some point I will be letting you know how you can win this awesome Jason Voorhees hockey mask medal sign. This will be the first of many giveaways that we're going to be doing this season, so stay tuned to all my videos. You never know when I'm going to do a giveaway. I've got a lot of cool ones planned. Alright guys, let's get started. I can't wait. Okay guys, the reason I chose Miss Shirley Stab here to transform into Pamela Voorhees is because obviously she's a female, she has a female build, but also you will see that she is holding her hand up here with a knife in a stabbing action. I thought this was perfect because at the end of the first Friday the 13th movie, when it's revealed that Pamela is the one who's been going around killing everybody, she pulls out a knife to attack the last girl. So I thought this was just a perfect pose for a Pamela Voorhees animatronic. Now to transform her, I'm not actually going to take anything apart. I'm just going to dress over her and put Pamela's outfit right on top of everything here. And then I've actually created a face to go over this one. I'll show you guys that soon. It's super cool. I'm not going to do anything with the hands. This is not going to be a permanent transformation, so I'm just going to leave the hands how they are. If it was going to be permanent, I would probably paint her hands a flesh color, but we want to be able to change this back to Shirley Stab. So we're just going to leave them as it is. So the first step is obviously to change her clothes, and I went to Goodwill to get all this stuff. That's what I used to do as a kid whenever I wanted to get a Halloween costume. We used to go to Goodwill and we would look for all of our pieces to our costume. I think that's how I found everything to dress up as Chunk from the Goonies. Making your Halloween costume is always a lot more fun than buying one. Anyways, I went to Goodwill and I found everything I needed at one Goodwill store. That was awesome. And I was able to get all of it for under $30. So keep that in mind whenever you're thinking of your Halloween costume this year. The first item I found is a sweater. It is very close to the kind of sweater that Pamela is wearing. It is gray, it is knitted, it kind of has this tall neck. I got that for $5.83. Next up, it looked like she was wearing a bluish red flannel shirt, so I got this one. This was the only blue and red one they had. I think this is very close to what she was wearing. I got this for $5.80. And then of course I got her black pants right here. Nothing too fancy. I got that for $5.80 as well. And finally at Goodwill, the last item I got for her costume were some boots. I was surprised to actually find some pretty decent boots for her costume. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to get these on her. Her feet may be a little bit too big. They got a frame that goes underneath of them. So I have a few tricks up my sleeve to try and make this work, but if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be too upset if I have to have Pamela wearing the high heels. So let's go ahead and get her costume on, and then we can move on to the next steps. The easiest way to do this is going to be to put her on the table and then take off the frame from her feet and then put the pants over that. Then I did try to put the boots on, but they were too small. It was almost the right fit. If they were bigger boots, they probably would have fit. Boots aren't going to work. Oh well. It was worth a try, but now I can put the frame back on her feet and then stand her up, and the issue we have to work on now is this loop around her waist that makes her dress flare out. So I carefully tucked that into the pants so I wouldn't damage it. I wanted it to keep its form. And then I did put one zip tie on the back of the pants to hold it up, but I ended up putting another zip tie on the front of the pants later. That's what held the pants up onto the frame. Then when I went to put the flannel on her, it looked like it was just too small and it was going to be too much of a pain to put it on, so I cut around the neck. That's the only area I really need of this shirt. So I cut it off and buttoned it on her. I thought that worked out well. Then it was time for the sweater, the main part of the costume, and that was nice and big and stretchy, so I was able to fit it over her head and over her arm and everything. I only had to take off one arm to get the sweater on there, so that was easy enough. I noticed she looked a little bit chunky whenever I finished getting her clothes on, so I ended up using some zip ties and I pulled everything tight in the back to make her look a little bit slimmer and more accurate to Pamela's build. I wish I could do that with myself. Just a couple of zip ties and I got my summer body. So there's her Pamela outfit. That is not too bad. I wish the boots would have worked, but her sweater looks good. The pants work well, and I like how I did the flannel underneath. I think that looks really good. This is not turning out too bad. I got a little bit scared there whenever I saw how chunky she looked, but I fixed her up with some zip ties, and I think I'm going to use some zip ties to maybe put her hair up as well if I have to, but I might not have to. We'll see how that goes. The next step is to put on her face, and I can't wait to show you what I did for that. Now, as some of you may know, I have a 3D printer. I actually have two 3D printers, and I taught myself how to 3D model in order to create my own custom prints. And that is exactly what I did here. I looked at a photo of Pamela Voorhees in that last scene where she is being revealed as the antagonist, and using an existing 3D model of a female head and face, I was able to transform it into Pamela's face in that scene. This took me about an hour and a half to do. It was a little bit tricky because I haven't done this in a while, but it was super fun and I was able to make something really cool. And then when I 3D printed it, I had to cut it up into pieces because it was a little big and it was going to take way too long to print because I have all these supports, the green things. So I chopped it down into 4 pieces. It took a little over a day to print, but now we have this, a 3D modeled and 3D printed Pamela Voorhees face. How awesome is that? I already super glued it together. You can see the lines, so it's not gonna be perfect, but it's still pretty awesome. But we still have to paint it. So let's go ahead and do that. While I'm painting the mask, guys, like the video and comment and let me know what you think of this custom animatronic. And while you're at it, check out the description below. There is a Gleam link to my Jason mask giveaway. Click on that link to submit your chance to win the Jason sign. Terms and conditions do apply, so make sure you read those and agree to them. There is no purchase necessary, and this is only available to my fans who are in the United States. The secret code to submit your chance to win is Hockey Mask. That is in all capital letters. Do not put it in the comments below. Let everyone find the secret code by themselves. But definitely leave a comment below to let me know that you found the secret code and that you submitted it for a chance to win. Good luck! I'm not sure how else I could have made that any better. That is so funny. It looks like a department store, like a dirty department store mannequin. That is hilarious. I did my best though, whatever. Okay, so now I've got a wig that I am going to put on this mask and see how it looks. Hopefully it's close enough to her hairdo. And then afterwards, we are going to figure out how to put this hair back. And this mask is gonna go right there on her face. Oh my goodness, that is terrifying. That is crazy. Okay, not bad. If it's scary, it's a good thing, I think. All right, so let's see how this wig looks. I tried to find the cheapest one that was like close to Pamela's hairdo. So this is kind of curly, and I've also got some hairspray if we need to style it. But check this out. There's a hairnet in here. That's perfect. We can use it to pull back her hair, and then we'll check this out. That's awesome. I suppose it doesn't matter that it's all over her entire face. I mean, there's gonna be a mask on there. That really works to hold her hair back. Shirley Lunch Lady. Okay. Let's see how this wig looks. I'm not sure what's the front and the back. I think that's the back. So if we just kind of put it over the front, it's not bad. It's not terrible. Wait a minute, hold on. This might be the back because there's like a strap here. I don't know. Okay, I took it off to the side to try and mess with it, and I got it. And that does not look too bad. I didn't do too bad of a job. Sweet. That is hilarious. Now guys, I don't just have the outfit and the face. Believe it or not, I figured out how to get some custom audio for this animatronic. But we'll get that figured out in a few minutes here. First, I think I'm going to super glue this wig onto the mask, and then we can put this mask on here. I'm gonna go do that quick. Okay, there we go. Check it out. That's not too bad at all. I could totally style this if I wanted to. I have some hairspray, but I think it actually looks pretty good. About as good as it can anyways. So I also cut up the back because I know it's not gonna fit all the way over the head. So now we're gonna try to get this thing on there. And if I have to, I can drill a hole behind each ear and use a zip tie and zip tie it to her head. But let's see what we can do first. Okay, that doesn't look bad so far. I mean, it doesn't look good, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna use a zip tie on the back of the wig. I think I can get a zip tie around there to really hold this thing against there so it doesn't fall off. And then we'll mess with the neck here and get the sweater to match up and everything. That baby ain't going nowhere. Get the shirt looking a little better. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but it looks pretty darn scary. All right, guys, let me give you a better look at this thing. This is crazy. I gotta say, I am pretty embarrassed. This thing looks awful. This is quite possibly the worst piece of art I have ever created in my life. But in a way, I love it. That is too funny. I suppose if you saw that in the dark, it would look like Pamela Voorhees. But we're not done yet. I have some custom audio ready for this. Let me show you what I got. This right here is a little recorder box that you can actually plug into your computer, and then you can upload audio files to it up to 4 minutes long. It's from a foreign company. I don't even know what brand makes it, but I tested it out to make sure that it would work, and it is pretty awesome, guys. I already have audio on here ready to go for this. So I'm gonna try to attach it on the chest, just like a regular animatronic, but on the inside of the shirt. And I hate to cut a hole in this sweater, but I really want this motion thing to work. The sweater is a nice sweater, and I kinda don't wanna ruin it. Okay guys, I ended up figuring it out. I just stuck it inside the sweater, and the way that it actually works, it's not motion, it detects body heat. So if I get my hand close enough to that sensor, it's gonna go off. I also plugged her in, and she should start running soon unless I accidentally unplugged her on the inside. So let's go ahead and turn her on. Oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get in there. I'll tell you what, I'll turn her on the best I can, and then I will activate the voice. Let me set this up so you can see her. This is absolutely hilarious and awful. Oh, there she goes. Okay, hold on. Ready? Come on, I just had it working a second ago. There it goes.
Innocent Jason. My only child. You can drown. You never paid any attention. Look what you did to him. Look what you did to him.
That's so funny. It's like totally awful, but it's not that bad, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna turn up the volume on that box, and then maybe you could hear it a little bit better.
Oh, my sweet, innocent Jason. My only child.
I don't know why the arm stopped working. There it goes. What in the world? All right, let's get the voice going again.
Oh, my sweet, innocent Jason. My only child. Jesus. You can drown. You never paid any attention. Look what you did to him. Look what you did to him.
That is so funny. It looks terrible, but I don't think I did too bad. If I was actually going to do something like this and be totally serious about it, I would take more time on the head. Like, I didn't have to cut this up into pieces like that. I just did it to be faster because I was running out of time. I did this within like 3 days before Friday the 13th. So obviously, if you didn't see these seams, that would look a lot better. I'd also do a lot better with the paint. This is kind of awful. I did the best I could in a short amount of time. I don't think it's too bad though, and the wig looks pretty good. That's not a bad wig for her. I love it. I think that is great. To set this whole thing up, minus the cost of the actual animatronic, it was under $30 for the outfit, and then for the wig it was like 10 bucks. So that's not too bad. All right, guys, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to submit for your chance to win the metal hockey mask sign. That sweepstakes will be going on for 2 weeks, starting today. If you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Friday the 13th. Happy birthday, Jason. I'll see you guys in the next one.